Hey there, Locked On ACC fans. Today we're going to be talking about the season that was for Wake Forest baseball. And I just got one question for you. Why does everybody hate Wake?
You are Locked On ACC, your daily podcast on the Atlantic Coast Conference. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hey there, folks. I'm coming to y'all today because I very simply want to know, what is everyone's beef with Wake Forest? Okay. And I'm asking that because when we asked, who would you rather root for on Locked On Wolfpack, who would you rather root for, LSU or Wake Forest? And I'm like, hey, it's okay if some of you want to root for the asteroid because you're gonna have Tommy Tanks or Wake Forest in the final. I understand that. I understand why certain NC State fans don't like Wake Forest. It makes sense. But the rest of the ACC, what's the problem? Wake doesn't have any enemies, and I even said for NC State fans, none of us should be that much of an enemy to say, hey, we'd rather see an all SEC final than to see Wake Forest, who has been the number one team for a majority of the year and was the number one overall seed in the NCAA tournament, not make it. I'm very confused. The way in which Wake Forest baseball was built into what they became this year is the part that is like, I don't understand what the problem is here. I really don't. This is a talented roster that's built vastly. The majority of this roster is built through just getting guys out of high school, getting top guys out of high school and whatnot, and just more and more and more building these guys up, getting better and better and better each year. And you've seen what they are at the end result of this thing. That's what the thing is more than anything else, which is why I'm very confused as to like, hey, there's a huge disdain for Wake Forest. Their pitching staff has been made very good by their pitching lab, not by, buying the best team that money can buy. That's not the case. He's dominating because that's who he is. That's how he does it. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe I'm confused. Maybe I'm part of the problem and there's something about this that I just don't know. But as far as I know, this Wake Forest team is a team that came together fairly organically. Of course, every team has a couple transfers here and there, but they came together fairly organically and just bit by bit by bit, they worked this thing more and more and more. They got a little bit better, a little bit better, a little bit better. And then all of a sudden, they turn into what they are today. That's just the reality of what we're seeing here. You know what I mean? Like and I'm sorry that I'm losing my words here, but as far the way that I see it, every team should aspire to build something the way Wake Forest has. You get what I'm saying? Like at the end of the day, every team should aspire for, hey, this is, we're going to go through some dark times. We're going to go through some struggles, whatever the case may be. But over time, we're going to get better and better and better. That's just what we're going to do over time. That should be what everybody says about their team, about what we've got going on. That should be it. Josh Hartle, not a guy that is a guy that was bought and paid for from somewhere else. The young man is from Winston-Salem, which, of course, is the city that Wake Forest is located in. But you get the point. This is a young man that has been one of the best for a long, long time. He committed as a freshman in high school and just shows up and dominates early. That's what this is. Again, if I'm saying something crazy, please tell me. But all I know is this is a team that by and large was built through, hey, we're a team. We're going to gel together. We're going to play together. We're going to grow together. We're going to learn each other. We're going to go through the ups. We're going to go through the downs. We're going to have some guys on this roster that are superstars that everybody knew they were going to be superstars from day one. Sure. No disrespect there. No, not saying that there is a feeling of, hey, you can't be good without being terrible. No. What I'm saying is these are a bunch of guys who, again, very organically built this thing square by square, peg by peg, built up their facilities, attracted top recruits, had some guys who were known names, had some guys who are fairly unheralded, like a Sean Sullivan in the rotation. And all of a sudden, they are who they are. So, for me personally, I look at this and I say the Wake Forest hate is so interesting. And now look at what we have. We have an all SEC final here. And now we got to kind of sit with this. We got to kind of pretend like this is not just god awful to see. We got to sit here and pretend like, oh, yeah, these SEC guys aren't going to swear up and down that they're the greatest things, that they're God's greatest gift to the earth. Because look, yet another sport where we're dominating, where we're on top. If you ask me, the answer and who we should have been rooting for as ACC fans was simple. It was right in front of us. It was the boys from Winston-Salem. That's all, and that's it. That's who we should have been rooting for. And it's fairly obvious to me for a multitude of reasons. For a flat out multitude of reasons. You know what I mean? Like and to me, that's very simple. That's very simple. If I'm looking at what this team is, again, a team that is very, very organically come together, grown together, all that good stuff. But even beyond that, even beyond what this team was in terms of growing together and all that good stuff, this is a team that was fun to watch. This is a team that hit a ton of homers this year. This is a team that had a bunch of guys who just did things the right way, who played the game the right way. And that's, what there is to detest about that, what there is to not like about that, I don't understand. I get the idea that, hey, I want my team to be there. And if it can't be my team, then I don't want any team there. But somebody's got to go. And I would hope that we're all on the same board. Unless it is our dead, hated rival, you root for the team to go forward. You root for them. Come on, ACC fans, we got to get on cue. We got to get on task, because all the other conferences, they have a type of solidarity amongst their fans. They're like, hey, if it ain't you asking a USC fan to root for UCLA, they'll root for Oregon, sure. They'll root for, I believe Colorado is over there. Yeah, they'll root for Colorado, sure. They'll root for, Stanford, sure. But anybody besides their up in the Big Ten, oh yeah, or SEC, oh yeah, sure. If I'm an Alabama fan, I'm not going to root for Auburn, but Vanderbilt can go ahead. Sure, let's go, Vandy. Do the thing. I'm not going to root for Auburn, but LSU, I mean, yeah, if you got to go to the championship, if somebody has to go, we have to get on that type of code, y'all. We got to get on that type of code, because I'm just saying that to me looks really good on us as a unit. That to me is what makes us feel like a safer bet in terms of like we across the board will be uniform in how we decide to root and cheer. And speaking of safe bets, I would like to talk to y'all about FanDuel. Baseball season is in full swing, and there's no better place to get in on the action than FanDuel, America's #1 sports book. Because right now, new customers get a no-sweat first bet of up to $1,000. That's up to $1,000 in bonus bets back. If your first bet doesn't win, just go to FanDuel.com/lockedon to join the day. And trust me, you don't want to miss your chance to snag this deal, because it won't be here forever. But like I said, a safe bet, you're betting, and you get a no-sweat first bet of up to $1,000, so that if you lose, you get bonus bets back when you join FanDuel today. Just go to FanDuel.com/lockedon to sign up. FanDuel, official partner of Major League Baseball. So now that we've gotten, talking about the bullpen or the pitching staff and all that good stuff out of the way, again, shout out to these young men for having an absolutely phenomenal season. Absolutely phenomenal season. Didn't lose a single series all year. only lost 3 home games all year. I mean, this 30-3 at home. That is absolutely insane. Every one time that you saw that the fans in Winston-Salem went out and watched their boys lose one, they would then go on to win 10. That is what that averages out to. This team was amazing. I would have loved to see them go on and bring it all home from Omaha. But like I just talked about, a lot of guys in that pitching staff are young. You got some guys on that team that are going to be there for quite some time. And at the end of the day, I'm looking at this and saying to myself, Wake Forest is built for sustained success. They're built for these guys to be good beyond just this year. Because if that were the case of like, hey, this was just one magical run where this team, you're never going to see this again, and this team is old as dirt and all that good stuff, then that'd be one thing. But objectively speaking, when you look at most of the guys who had shown up the most or done the most per se, you're looking at a bunch of guys who have eligibility to come back. Now, I know some of these guys are very likely, very, very likely going to get drafted next year, and that's fine. That's good and dandy, and not denying that. But I think Tom Walter and company are bringing enough back in terms of ball players in 2024, for the 2024 season to get some good things done. And that's just, I could be wrong here, but I have a hard time believing that they dropped from a 54-12 number 1 overall seed season to all of a sudden being wiped off the face of baseball relevancy in one season. They've got a ton of guys that are coming back, and like I've already talked about, that pitching staff isn't going anywhere. Those arms are still very lively, very much so fired up about this program. And so, at the end of the day, again, this is a team that I'm looking at and I'm saying to myself, it's not hard to imagine some of these guys coming back to do great things. It's not hard to imagine Pierce Bennett bringing back that 353 batting average. It's not hard to imagine. It's not hard to imagine Nick Kurtz and Brock Wilkins bringing all the power that they bought this year back again. But even some of the guys who are much younger who can't leave, like Danny Corona and whatnot, these are guys who have shown up at a high level for this team that I think are going to be back in the future. And I could see a ton of success going forward for this team. You know what I mean? So, hey, when it's back to regular season next year, I give you all the love and all the good things and good vibes to root against them when they're playing your team, when they're playing somebody else's team. But when it's not just about Wake Forest, by the way. Let me make that clear. This isn't about, Kenton likes Wake Forest and that's why he's actually the root for him. No. If there's any team, come on now. Hey, ACC fans, unless it's your most hated rival, right? Like if you're talking Florida State, Miami, hey, I get it. Not going to pretend that I don't. I fully understand. My heart is with you in hating that team and saying whoever they're playing is my favorite team. If it's Virginia Tech, NC State, UNC, I get you. I'm right there. Hey, right there with you. Right there with you. Sure. Duke, UNC, right there with you. Right there with you. If you want to root for whatever team is playing against them, I'm right there with you. But outside of those teams, outside of those moments where we're looking at our most heated rivals, come on now. Come on. We got to show each other some love on that national stage. We got to show each other some love on these national stages, okay? Don't get me wrong. I fully am here for and understand your most heated rival. I'm never going to disagree with you there. I'm never going to tell you because trust me, I got some rugs from Amazon this week that were they were a different color blue than they were advertised, and much lighter of a blue than they were advertised. Now immediately wanted to send them things back. Immediately. So trust me, I get it. I'm not going to disagree with you. But with that being said, still, if it's national stage, not your most hated rival, come on. Come on. I'm a root for Tony Bennett and the boys if they're the only ones left in the tournament. I'm a root for them. I'm a root for them. I'm a root for Coach Hamilton and them if they're the only ones left in the tournament. If Pat Narduzzi is playing in the New Year's Six Bowl, okay, I'm a root for them. I'm going to give them their love. I'm going to give them their flowers and hope that they get a win because I want to see that. I want to see success out of our conference at large. That is very much so, more than anything else, what I want for our conference, just success in general. We've already talked about the revenue sharing and all that and how that gets better and whatnot. And just winning is a huge part of it. But even if you're looking at the new redistribution model, well, what was the charge? Win. You'll be rewarded for bowl games. You'll be rewarded for New Year's bowl games. You'll be rewarded for playoff games, all that good stuff. Just win. And I'm rooting for everybody to just win and get their money up and get all the things that they want in terms of I'm rooting for everybody, except the boys in baby blue, of course. But everybody else, more power to you. If it's Dave Clawson, if it's Coach Walters, if it's Coach Forbes, hey, as long as you ain't playing NC State, you playing on the national stage, as long as you losing doesn't benefit NC State, more power to you. Win it all, man. Win every game that you play is not against us. Win them all. But that's just how I see it. You know what I mean? That's just the way I look at it. And maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe some teams do have a reason, or some fan bases do have a reason to hate Wake Forest. But please leave it in the comments. Let me know. Let me know what the reasons are that people would have to root against them in this situation. Because again, I saw too many ACC fans that were like very anti here, and I just didn't like it. Again, we got to get on one accord. We got to be one band, one sound. For those of you who have seen Drumline, you understand it. For those of you who don't, go watch it. It's a movie with Nick Cannon. You've got a little bit of time this week. Feel free. It's the summer, you've got time. But anyway, come on back and keep on, like and subscribe, and tell a friend to tell a friend to tell a friend to subscribe. Leave us comments. Leave us what you think about this episode. Till next time, peace and love, y'all.